Day 0. From Slovakia to Saint-Jean in France. On the 11th of July, I woke up at 2:10 a.m. and I took a night bus from a roadside stop to Bratislava bus terminal. I was scheduled to take a bus to Vienna airport at 4 a.m. While I was sleepily waiting at a platform, a Korean couple approached me. They were almost weeping, asking, "Are you Korean?" "Yeah." "There must have been a Polish bus a long time ago, but it's not come yet." Buses can also be cancelled. You should check it out at the bus terminal customer information center at 4 o'clock when it opens. Before my trip to Camino, I did a good deed. I went to Pamplona via Madrid. It's very hot during the day. I walked out of the airplane, walked into the airport building, and waited for my suitcase. 20 minutes passed, and 30 minutes passed, but I couldn't see my bag at the luggage rail. OMG. What happened? I waited with patience until around 2:30 and went to the luggage claim counter with a hasty heart. I showed her my luggage tag and asked if the bag had arrived. She said there's no record for my suitcase in the luggage system. The system didn't show if my suitcase was in Madrid or even loaded into the airplane at Vienna airport. Oh my God. At that moment, all I had was a travel sleeping bag and a selfie stick. She told me to come back after 30 minutes. I waited, wondering what to do. After 30 minutes, I went to the desk again. After 30 minutes and another 30 minutes, my suitcase record didn't show up. A bus from Pamplona to Saint-Jean was supposed to depart at 5:30 p.m. I checked the counter several times until 4:30 p.m., but unfortunately, no record appeared. She said she'd deliver it to me the next day at their expense if the suitcase arrived at the airport. The next day, I didn't know where I would be. I explained to the staff that I'd move to Saint-Jean that afternoon and start my Camino trip right away the next morning. She saw the map and told me that I'd reach Albergue Roncesvalles the next day according to the route. Isn't the toughest day the first day? My mind already arrived at Roncesvalles, but I couldn't predict how the next day would be. I'll stop in the middle or go further. So I replied that it's difficult to guess. I was worried. I told her I would stay one more day in Saint-Jean, and then I'd like to leave for Camino after receiving my suitcase. Her guess was that perhaps the bag was likely to come that afternoon or that night. She suggested that we'd better make a decision after I'd make a phone call when I'd arrive at the hostel. She wrote down the desk phone number. It's not her fault. There was no need to be angry at her. Inevitably, I left the address of the hostel and took a taxi to the bus stop. Camino trip became exciting even before the start. I bought a small backpack of €15, and a sunscreen near the bus stop, which I believed were the most necessary items to survive for a day without my suitcase. I kept a super positive attitude, thinking at least my steps would be lighter, starting with lighter luggage. The bus bound for Zhangjiang ran a zigzag mountain path. It continuously rose to the peak. It rained. It poured. It's foggy. The wind blew. Everyone started whispering, and the voices grew loud. Well, wow. The next day would be very interesting. On a downhill road, the weather got worse. I didn't have much information on how to find accommodation for day of arrival, so I made a reservation for a Zhangjiang hostel online before departure. I opened the door to the hostel and I saw a staff member talking to someone on the phone. It sounded like a French or like a Spanish. She hung up the phone, turned her head to me, and said, "Mr. Choi?" I nodded my head. Then she said my bag would arrive at the hostel before 10 o'clock that day. Wow, it's a phone call from the airport. Hallelujah. Good things happen when you think positive all the time. I checked the room number and shortly went out to make a credential, pilgrim pass, which would allow me to get stamped from accommodations, churches, or cathedrals. I asked people how to get to the credential place on the hill. After paying €2 and receiving my own credential, I took a photo as evidence in front of the building. Let's smile brightly. It's finally time to start my journey. My pilgrimage route, a 775-kilometer walk, would begin soon. It's a big thrill. On the way down the hill, a lot of thoughts came to my mind. It's a trip which started right after temporarily wrapping up my routine life. I'd get something and learn something. I'd like to keep hope in my heart that trip would be a beautiful one. I found a restaurant nearby and filled my stomach with good quality food. The red wine was bitter that night because of anxiety. The dinner price was €18, which was quite expensive. I cut some slack because it's the first day of my long and laborious journey. Seriously, it's about to start.